inflammation of the bladder.
It's whenever you hear itis.
Yeah, no, that's inflammation.
Yes,
That's
inflammation.
So
Urinary
is it
bladder.
CY?
Yes.
CYSTITIS. Fish, remember we learned fish, the parasite can grow in it to how long? 40 feet.
40 feet.
That's a long worm,
If it's a
isn't
big
it?
fish.
What'd you say?
If it's a big fish. Because one time I was at a friend's house, they served cooked fish, and I opened the stomach part, and I saw a little bit of thread, and I touched it and it wiggled.
Oh.
And it was already cooked fish.
Oh. And you know
It
what?
was about this long.
It doesn't even have to be a big fish. They say that the worms can coil, and it can be in a smaller size fish. It doesn't even have to be a big
That's
fish.
extra protein.
No, thank you. Okay, so pumpkin seeds are anti-parasitic, and they get rid of worms. Pumpkin seeds, let's see what they also benefit, the prostate. It has a lot of medicinal purposes, pumpkin seeds. They're excellent. And also for worms, I was taught many years ago, if you do pumpkin seeds and raw pineapple, it's excellent for expelling the worms. Wonderful foods. It's not uncommon for people who eat fish to become deficient in the vitamin B12 because the fish worm feeds on the B12. So that's another reason why we really want to leave that stuff alone. Okay, what else causes hypertension? Okay, I'm going to read something before I write that down. This is page 420 of Counsels on Diets and Foods. Okay. I'm going to read a few things. It says the stimulating diet and drink of this day are not conducive to the best state of health. It's page 420, 421 of Counsels on Diets and Foods. Tea, coffee, and tobacco are all stimulating and contain poisons. They are not only unnecessary, but harmful and should be discarded if we would add to knowledge temperance. And Pastor was just speaking about adding to knowledge temperance. Now, when I say, when I want to blow my nose, what do I ask people to get me? But what do most people call it?
Napkin.
They say, give me a Kleenex, right? That's not a Kleenex. Kleenex is the brand name.
Brand name, yes.
The tissue, the proper name is tissue, okay? When I want to make a copy of this, people say Xerox it. Xerox is a brand name. Xerox is not copy. That's just the brand name of a copying company.
It's like Colgate.
But we use a lot of brand names to categorize that item. That's what we're calling that item. Well, it's the same thing with the word tea. Let me look it up. It's in here. There is a medicinal name for the word tea, and it covers, and I'll get it for you right now, what that name is. Okay, let's see if it's in here. No, this isn't it. There's a medicinal name, a medical name for tea. It's a long name. It's Tia synonymous or something. I'll give the exact word. But it covers black tea, white tea, red tea, chai tea, and what else? Green tea. You know, a lot of people think they're doing very good things to their body by drinking green tea because of the high antioxidants in here. But you know what? The drawbacks outweigh the benefits. All these teas that I just listed here, and this would include your Lipton tea. Lipton tea would be under the black tea. All these teas that I just listed here contain 400 poisons. And they are, what did Sister White say tea and coffee are? Stimulants. What does a stimulant do to the heart?
Set it up.
Yeah, it causes the blood pressure to go up. We should be leaving all stimulants alone. Now some people say, well, I get the non-caffeinated green tea. That's great. You're drinking non-caffeinated green tea that has 400 poisons in it. Green tea, there's medical science to prove. And when she says tea, she even mentions green tea. But the tea, when she says the word tea, these are all the teas that it's covering.
The decaffeinated has more chemicals.
Oh, decaffeinated has more chemicals. That's a wonderful thing for people to hear. Do you hear that? Mm-hmm. See, people, and even though it's decaffeinated, it still has caffeine.
Yeah.
It still has caffeine. It's only like, I think it has like 4, 5, 3% of caffeine.
It doesn't get.
But the caffeine is still in there. But they're allowed to call it decaffeinated because it has less than a certain percentage. Just because the food says it doesn't have something in it, doesn't mean it's not in there. Because the FDA has allowed them to label things if it's less than a certain percentage. Yes. So it's deception. Okay, let me see where I can read.
How many poisons does the tea have in it?
400. 400 poisons. And you can read about that in so many books. You go on and Google it. Tea has poisons, 400 plus poisons. But yes, that includes the green tea. Now, this is not including, we're not talking about your herbal teas, like your chamomile, your red clover and stuff like that. That's not what we're talking about. Okay, tea is stimulating and poisonous. Oh, here's the thing. Tea destroys vitamin B1, which is responsible for what? Does anyone know?
B1?
Yes. It's responsible for the nervous system. Okay, and in the nervous system you have the parasympathetic and the sympathetic of the nervous system, and they can increase the blood pressure. Alrighty? So if you're lacking that B1, your nervous system is going to be all out of whack. Exactly. How does it destroy this vitamin? How does the tea destroy this vitamin? The enemy's plan is to get control of our mind. What is B1's importance? B1 is essential to prevent Parkinson's disease and diseases of the mind. Okay? Is Parkinson's prevalent in America today?
Yes.
Absolutely. I used to work at the Alzheimer's clinic, and just about every patient there also had Parkinson's. And I believe it's because they were taking medications that was depleting the B1, and a lot of them were on B vitamins as well. Okay? B1 is essential to prevent it. Just about everyone over the age of 75 has Parkinson's, like a huge percentage of the elderly population.
Well, that would make sense because that particular population is when Lipton tea was a major thing in the market.
Oh,
so that would make sense.
Lipton tea for the elderly.
Yes, for the elderly.
Oh, wow.
They all drank Lipton tea.
Yeah, they like to drink tea.
Yeah.
Yes.
Remember?
Yes, I remember.
That's right. And vitamin B1 also helps prevent neuralgia. That's where your nerves don't work well. You either have like pins and needles feeling, or you can't feel things. And things just aren't working well, especially the nerves in your periphery, your hands, and your feet. So we don't want to do anything that's going to destroy the B1 vitamins. Tea destroys B1. A B1 deficiency leads to depression, glaucoma, and many other, we already talked about it, Parkinson's, and many other medical problems. The B vitamins are very, very important for health. These teas that we talked about, the black tea, the white tea, the red tea, the chai tea, and the green tea, they have in it what's called phenolic tannins, or phenolic, I think it's phenolic tannins. That's what's in all these teas. And what that does is stops the absorption of iron. Is iron necessary?
Yes.
Yes. It stops the absorption of iron. Now, if you have a lack of iron, what do you have?
Anemia.
That's right. So it causes anemia. So, I know someone, and we're not just talking about the tea, we're talking about the coffee too. But a lot of people are fooled by the tea. They think, oh, the green tea's good and the red tea's good. I know someone who was suffering tremendously from anemia. And I put them on a little program, simple program, just like 4 things that they needed to do. I had them do juicing some greens. And I had them, because they weren't going to give up the meat and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I had them get iron and herbs. And do blackstrap molasses, 2 tablespoons a day. Eat sesame seeds and pumpkin seeds and something else. Maybe 4 or 5 things. And she was doing it. And the doctors told her it was going to take 3 months for her to go up 1 point. In 3 weeks, she went up 3 or 4 points. But the thing was, is she was a slave to buying iron and herbs. That can be costly. It's Floridix is the one who makes it, iron and herbs. It's what people I know who were going to get blood transfusions but refused. They started taking this. They told me about it. I've heard wonderful things about it. It has a lot of herbs in it that's high in iron. Floridix. It's called iron and herbs, but it's made by Floridix. She was doing the blackstrap molasses, which is wonderful, high in iron. She was doing the green drinks and the beets. So I was having her juice beets and stuff. I told her to try to grate them and eat them. She wanted to juice them instead and mix it with carrots and other things. She did well. But then she stopped doing it and she was sick again. And I went up to her and I told her a few times, as long as you drink that coffee, you're going to have this problem. She got mad at me, didn't want to hear it. She didn't want to touch her coffee. But see, God doesn't want us to become slaves to even the herbs. See, a lot of times we can take the herbs and mask the symptoms, just like doctors do with medication, and that is not what we want. We want to get to the root of the problem. So we don't want you to be a slave to spending money every month on things like iron and herbs. Now, you might need to do blackstrap molasses, and it's not that expensive. It's a food, too. That's okay. But we don't want to have to do where we have to buy all these things every month, because it can get costly. We want to eliminate the items that are causing the problem.
Well, I was diagnosed with anemia too, and the reason being is because I drank Lipton tea up until I was 18, and the Lord brought me into this message.
Amen.
But of course, I'm not anemia now.
Amen.
And then my niece,
okay,
she's an extreme anemia.
Okay.
And I made the drink. I went home and showed her how to make the drink with the grape juice,
okay,
the prunes, and the raisins, and let
Okay.
it sit overnight.
okay.
And she's 100% better.
Amen.
Because she couldn't operate because her blood was so low. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so what is that iron building drink?
It is prunes and raisins and 100% grape juice with no sugar.
Isn't there figs in there too?
You can put figs in there, but if you don't have it, it still will work.
And then you have 100% grape juice.
And then you put it in a dark place for overnight.
You soak it overnight?
Yeah, you soak
Soak
it
overnight.
in the dark place.
Not in the refrigerator?
Not in the refrigerator, no.
Soak
And
overnight.
then in the morning, you take it and put it in the refrigerator and just drink it.
Do you just soak it in grape juice?
Yes.
Or do you add water?
No
No,
water.
just straight grape juice. I knew about this years ago, but I also heard for breakfast you should take the prunes out, the raisins and the figs and eat them.
You can eat them, yes.
Yes, because it has all the grape juice in there, and it also has the prunes are high in iron, the figs are high in iron, and the raisins are high in iron as well. Okay, so that's for anemia. And the blackstrap molasses, 2 tablespoons a day. You could do 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening. Now, can I give your testimony about your dad? Sure. Okay. Sister Mila's father had some kind of medical conditions, right?
Oh, he was with a gray. Yeah, a gray hair.
But is that why they had him take this for the gray, or was it for something else?